Okie dokie. Hey guys, how you doing? My name is CODENAMEBIGBEAR, Stuart, if you want to call me by my first name. Today we are talking about the Mario 3D All-Stars game that released on Friday, September 18th, 2020. And we're going to talk about whether or not it's actually worth £50, or whether I believe it's worth £50, and whether or not I actually enjoyed myself, and if these controls and all that kind of thing is all good. We don't know. We're just going to find out together. Hooray! So first off, what is this game? This game is 3 games amalgamated into one. Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy 1, just the first one. These games are absolute classics from Nintendo's library, Mario 64 especially. When that game first came out, it pretty much told everybody how to do 3D platforming in a 3D world when it was kind of transitioning and some things were doing really bad work, kind of like Bubsy, that was awful. Mario 64 has amazing stuff. It's the basis for all 3D Mario games that have ever come out since. You know, you do your hop, skip, and jump. You know, whoop, 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 that one he does. You do backflips. You do all sorts of stuff that you would expect to see in Mario games. Especially if you play Mario Odyssey, you might have a good idea. But that's what's really great about these games. They are evolutions of his movements. Because Mario Sunshine is has a whole different moveset and it's a bit awkward to get used to. The same with Galaxy as well, to be honest, what if you haven't played in a while. So if you go in 64 Sunshine, you're going to have to deal with this whole flood system, which means you can't do your backflips, for instance, but you can hover and you can shoot things from far away using this water cannon thing that you have. And Sunshine is pretty much the funniest one, just purely because there's loads of voice acting and some of it's quite just awful, but funny in its own way. And also the fact that you are being Mario and you're doing community service. You are literally cleaning up graffiti on this on Isle Delfino. It's just kind of ridiculous, but it's really, really good fun and definitely worth a look. But then Galaxy does the same thing as well. It completely flips the script. It takes all the normal movements you have from 64. Pretty much both of these last 2 games kind of take off the punching, which is a little bit annoying, but it's fine. Because you have to deal with gravity now on these small orbital planets, where you can jump here, go forward, and you end up here on the planet itself. So the stories of these games, so Mario 64, Peach literally writes them a letter and goes, "Hey, I baked you a cake. Come on, man, come and join me. We're going to have some fun and eat some cake." And you get there, and it turns out Bowser has taken over the entire castle, and he's put spells on these paintings that you can go into, and you've got to pick up power stars so you can progress and fight Bowser eventually, which actually I believe he's referred to as Kooper. He is, at least, his music's at least referred to as Kooper anyway. And then Sunshine, as I said, he's doing community service. He's been framed for graffitiing this entire island, and you've got to clean that up. And that's basically your story. You've got to get the sprites. There's no saving a princess. Although there is a little bit of that does kind of come into it. But it's not the main crux of the story. It's actually like the first major story there was for Mario. And then Mario Galaxy, well, you've been invited to the castle again. You go there, and then Bowser comes along, takes the whole castle away, and you've got to go into space to rescue her, sorry. And you just have some amazing times.
L isn't real. There's no HD version of it. You still can't read it. I don't even believe that L was real, was really written on that, but yeah, who knows.
Obviously, in each of these games, there are graphical upgrades. You know, if you were playing the original Mario 64, for instance, everything would be quite blocky. That's been smoothed out a bit, and the same with all the other games as well. You know, the smoothness that comes with it, I swear the colours are just brighter as well. Everything looks really, really good, and exactly kind of what you are expecting for a basic upgrade. Now, it's obviously not what anyone was really expecting originally. We were at least expecting a fully upgraded Mario 64. We didn't get that, but you never know, that might come in time. Unlikely though, let's face it, Nintendo doesn't really like doing things like this, but it's gone and done it, and it's gone and put these nice smoother textures over everything else, and Mario Sunshine really pops for it as well, same with 64. Galaxy looks really good, but Galaxy has the weird thing, because the Wii had that kind of hazy fuzziness all over it, and that still shines through a little bit, and is a bit off-putting, but it's still probably the best looking game on the actual game. That makes sense? Yeah. Now there is an issue with all of these, and it's mainly down to modern gaming. So because everyone is very used to using the right stick to control the camera around, you're going to find yourself kind of mucking about with that quite a lot. At least I did anyway. I found myself constantly trying to turn the camera when you don't need to. You just kind of run forwards and the camera will just follow Mario. But sometimes you want to get a little bit look at certain things and you're going to try and do it. In the 64, it's pointless. You don't need to use the camera at all. In Galaxy, kind of the same thing. It was more awkward when you kind of underneath a planet and you wanted to kind of move the camera around so you can see what's coming up next. But it does sort itself out. It is actually a very good camera. And with Mario Sunshine, you can move the camera freely the entire time you're doing it. The thing that was actually a problem. That was really nice, and it made life nice and easy whilst playing the game. Although the camera does get caught on a few things, sometimes it'll automatically turn you around, you know, when it needs to. But the main issue I have with that one, though, is when you're using a flood and you want to specifically aim at something. So you hold down L and you shoot with R, and you can't. Whilst you're doing that, you can only move the stream up and down, and I believe left and right, and it's all with the left stick, so I'm constantly trying to use the right stick, and I just keep messing it up, and it's just a pain in the bum. But for the most part, I mean, I believe the camera has been vastly improved for Sunshine. You're going to have to find someone who really played Sunshine before. I only got about halfway through the game ever originally, and I did really enjoy the game, and I really do, and now it's my opportunity to finally complete it, so yeah. The cameras have all kind of been sorted out, and definitely one thing going in is just remember you don't need to move the camera all the time to get used to that idea, and you're going to have a great time, especially on 64, because that game's just so good. Oh, and on cameras, I completely forgot to mention, this bugged me purely because of the way I play games, but there is no inverted controls. The same thing happened with Luigi's Mansion 3, and honestly that was a really disappointing feature, because I'm going to play these games, I'm going to get very used to playing with, you know, having to press up. But then I'm going to go back to my normal games and muscle memory's going to kick in, and I'm going to press down to move my camera up, and it's going to go all wrong, and I'm going to have to get used to playing that again and rewire my brain. And it's just, why don't they give the option? I mean, it's just a simple thing they had to do, and they didn't do it. And yeah, but there's small quality of life things coming into these games that make a difference, that if you play the games you're going to notice. If you haven't, you're just not going to notice at all. But inverting those cameras, that would have been lush. Hopefully that'll come in an update, but I doubt it. They haven't done it with Luigi's Mansion 3, so we'll see. So in Sunshine, you can, well, I have a USB GameCube controller, which is a Switch controller. That works really fine. I do have a problem with my C-Stick though, because it just kept taking over. I think that might be the controller's fault. You can use GameCube style controllers with this game. And I know that annoys people because, well, you know, you have the little X icon that's used instead of the actual buttons for the Switch. People are like, oh, if you can't use actual GameCube controllers, what's the point? I suppose you can use a variant that will suffice for that one, I suppose. I don't know. I have played these games before. I played them all before. I've finished Mario 64 once. I have got halfway through Sunshine, and I finished Galaxy once as well. And I've just been playing them over and over again, kind of thing. And these games are games I can easily go back to because, well, it's Mario. You know, I recently played Mario Odyssey. I did a review here on Bear's Den for it, and I gave it a very high score. I believe I gave it an 8. I might have been a 9. I don't know what scores I've given half the time, but Odyssey was an incredible game. And these games are no different, but what's really cool about these games, and one thing I've always done every time I go traveling, because I don't drive myself, but I'll get on a bus or a train to go see my parents who live 100 miles away, for instance, and I will have an emulated version of 64 on my phone with a pad playing now, and now this particular game is going to be my permanent in my travel case or in my console for traveling with, because it's just the best game to travel. It's light, it's easy, there's hundreds and hundreds of things to collect throughout as well. You got choice of 3 games, choice of 3 stories to play around, and you know, Mario 64 again, it's just one of the best games, and it controls so well. And the buttons that you press for the buttons you press for controls, so for instance doing like a backflip or even I want to say stage dive, but doing those kind of things, it just automatically fell into the buttons that you thought it was going to be, which was really cool. I really enjoyed that. They clearly thought about mapping those controls really well, so that was really nice. There is something on this cartridge that people either aren't enthused about or they are, but I actually was. I kind of like this. It's the music sections. Now, by going to the music, it just means you can listen to absolute classic songs, and I've actually listened to a few songs that I wouldn't know off the top of my head. For instance, there was like Koopa's Castle, and Bowser has some metal music going on in there. I mean, not Metal Mario music, but metal music. It's really like creepy and dark, and then it's really like chugging along, and it's really cool. But you cannot tell me that this song isn't a jam. So the music is just really cool. You get this entire selection. I mean, when you get to the Galaxy ones, you don't unlock any of these. They're just already unlocked for you. But when you get to Galaxy, it's all the orchestral pieces, and honestly, it's some of the most amazing Mario music I've ever heard. So Mario 3D All-Stars is out, as I said. I played it, I've had a go, and these games are like 25 years old minimum, so giving a score is probably kind of a silly idea, but this is as a package, as a collection, does this work? Yes, I mean, this is obviously, if you didn't know already, come on, it's Mario, it's going to get a 9 out of 10. These are 3 excellent games, absolutely wonderful games, brilliant looking, brilliant controls, some fun stories, silly little things like Mario falling asleep and just going, lasagna, you know, it's really, really ridiculous. But during that menu bit, the little menu bit that you might see on the screen now, I don't know, it depends on what I'm doing. You have your 6 selections. You have Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, 64 soundtrack, Sunshine soundtrack, Galaxy soundtrack. But at either end, you got 2 arrows, but you can't do anything with them. Now that, to me, tells me that at some point we might be getting something else added to this game. That could be anything. It could be a fully upgraded Mario 64. Again, I doubt that. It could be Mario Galaxy 2, which is a game I've not played and will be really nice. But after mucking about with the motion controls on Galaxy, I realised I didn't really talk about Galaxy that much. After mucking about with the motion controls on Galaxy, that might be a little bit difficult because the motion controls are really good. They actually really, really work. But obviously the Joy-Con sensor is a bit awkward, so you're moving around and the star is going to be here, but as you're holding your Joy-Con, it's just going to drift off over here. But to fix that's a simple click of the right button, and it just recenters, and you're fine, you can carry on doing that. Doing that to make Mario spin is awkward, you can just press Y instead. But either way, I kind of found myself doing both when I was using the motion controls. I wanted to keep pressing Y, but I kept on shaking that little Joy-Con. So, ooh, he's spinning around, and he's like, whee! But the motion controls are really good, and they really work. But with Mario Galaxy 2, from what I understand, they are a little bit more, they have to be a bit more precise. Something about if you're on Yoshi, you have to have it on the screen where you want to go, and he follows that dot. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how it's going to work. But people are holding out hope, and because there's arrows, that kind of gives me an idea that they're probably going to do something with it. Maybe we'll get some challenge modes. Maybe we'll get something else. I don't know. In the original All-Stars, we got 4 games. This one, we got 3. I don't know. That also kind of just brings me very quickly, before I get on to anything else, people are going on about the Skyward Sword thing. I'm just going to throw this out there. People want to talk about Skyward Sword, the motion controls, how are they going to get around that? Well, I think, personally, they should go down the routes of Afro Samurai, Metal Gear Rising type thing, use precision aiming, because that's exactly what Link does in Skyward Sword. You know, you got to twist your sword just right and slice it down the line. And if you just hold, say, R, and you can get that kind of precision, you just move the cursor, you can get all that precision in there, no problem, and it's not really going to destroy the flow, because Metal Gear Rising is a very fast game, so is Afro Samurai, so, you know, I think it'd be a really good idea to do it that way, personally. Anyway, as a package, Mario 3D All-Stars, with all its music, with all those 3 amazing games that you can sink hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into, especially Galaxy, when you can go through it as Luigi once you got all the stars as well, which is just pretty cool. Getting a 9 out of 10. These are fantastic. This is a great purchase. You know, I'd recommend it. But is it worth 50 quid? I don't know if it's worth 50 quid. Obviously I paid that, you know, with Mario Galaxy 2 not being on there, and got his 3 games that are really old. Maybe if Galaxy 2 was in it, it would be worth 50 quid, but I would say 35, 40 pounds is probably the best marker for it. But it's only out for a few months. You know, they might sell them separately at the end of this. We just don't know. No one knows what's going on with Nintendo. You can't predict Nintendo, so we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, that was me rambling on about these ancient games. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe, all that down below. It'd be absolutely fantastic of you. And most of all, don't forget just to be nice to each other, yeah?